Hello there again, and I hope you are well. My name is Kayla, and I am part of the customer service team within Equus Innovation, and my role is to help you get the most out of your Equus Organizer show management system. Congratulations once more on investing in Equus Organizer, the simplest, fastest, and better way to run equestrian events. This training video module is about how to set up, from scratch, an unaffiliated event in Equus Organizer, with the appropriate classes for people to enter, including the entry fees and any additional mandatory charges that you want to charge for. There is a standard format that the system uses for all the different types of event that are affiliated to the governing bodies, and also those that are not, which we refer to as unaffiliated. With unaffiliated events, they tend to be the same format and classes or variations of them each time they are run. We suggest that a template is created from scratch for each of the different event types that you intend to use, which can then be very quickly cloned and reused by changing in the configuration to the new dates going forward. This takes just a few seconds to do. Once created, an event can be published onto your website at the press of a button using our standard iframe widgets, which will work on almost any website, and entries can be taken online immediately. The entries go directly into the Equus Organizer database without any need to manipulate spreadsheets or other document exports. To create an unaffiliated event from scratch is a relatively simple thing to do with Equus Organizer. And once again, there are 3 steps that you need to process to make this happen. Step 1. Create the unaffiliated event overall framework. Step 2. Create and format the individual classes and configure them for entry fees, prize money, duration, and times. Step 3. Publish the finished event onto your website and open the event and classes to begin taking entries. So here are the 3 steps again, but this time in more detail. Step 1. Creating the unaffiliated event framework. Events can all be created from scratch, and if you click on Events from the main menu on the left-hand side, you can see where all the events are stored. All events, planned, published, completed, and archived, are stored in this grid and can be filtered by date, by event type, or the event's status, which can be planned, published, in progress, completed, cancelled, or archived. And to create a new event, simply press the blue New Event button at the top of the events grid. I have made a quick shortcut to speed up the training session and selected the event that I want to create in advance. This is an example of a show jumping configuration, but many other equestrian events, including dressage, arena eventing, hunter trials, showing and combined training, etc., can be selected from the drop-down menu. Whichever discipline is selected will drive the options for the classes at each of these events, so it is key to select the correct event definition in this grid. The event configuration allows you to define the following: the name of the event, for example, NVEC, Unaffiliated Nervous and Novice Show Jumping, the date that the event will start and the date that it will finish if it's a multi-day event, the status of the event, a longhand description of the event, first aid details and any charges, refund policy and any sponsors' names, as well as the maximum number of entries you want to take, that is, if you really want to have a maximum number of entries. You can set the time allowed between each competitor as a default for the entire event. Allow online entries or only accept entries from existing members. And set cut-off times to close the event for entries on both the first day and any subsequent days. When this all has been completed, then the event can be saved and will appear in the event grid with the status you have given it. And now we can begin the process of adding in the auto charges and income and expense extras. So now we have created the overall event, we need to make sure the system has added in the auto charges for things like first aid and booking fees, as well as manually adding in the additional income and expense extras items that we previously set up in the administration system. From the events grid again, we can select the event that you want to amend, and this is what you will see. A set of insights for the event. There will not be any entries yet, as we have not put the system live and we still have to create the classes. At the top of the screen, you will see a number of tabs, and you need to select first the tab marked Auto Charges. As you can see here, the system has automatically set the auto charges for first aid, which in this case is mandatory and chargeable per rider per day, as well as setting the 40p charge per entry booking fee that will be processed separately and paid directly to Equus as part of the financials for the system. The system should do this each time automatically, but it is always a good idea to check that this has been correctly set up so that these charges will automatically be applied and shown on the invoice when the customer makes an entry either online or through the back office. If this is correctly set up, then you can simply exit the screen. But if you need to amend it, you can remove the charges by clicking on the crosses lined up next to the entry and download all the charges by clicking on the button marked Load from Default. Once done, you can again select the auto charges you want to keep and delete the rest. When you are happy with the auto charges, just click on the Save button and the setup will be stored. The next task is to click on the Extras tab so that we can input any expenses or specific income items that we want to charge and apply to this specific event. When you have clicked on the Extras tab, you will see this form and you will need to type into the Search for Event Extra field on the form, either the extra code if you can remember it, or start typing the full description of the extra required, and the system will prompt you with a drop-down menu of all the extras in the system. Select the correct one and the rest of the details, including the cost, will be shown by the system. You can now click on the Add to this event blue button and the income or expense will be assigned to the event and it will be included in the financial reports that are created for that event. Here I am going to add in just the two items, a sponsorship income amount of £300 and the cost for a course builder of £120. You can enter as many expense and income items as you need so that the system can create a comprehensive account of income and expenditure for the entire event, as well as calculating whether you have made any money from it. Now that you have created the event framework and input the auto charges and extras, you can move on to step 2 to create the classes that you want people to enter. And so, to wrap up part 1 of this video module for creating an unaffiliated event from scratch, you will have seen that there are 3 individual steps to setting the system up to work the way you want it to. Step 1. Create the unaffiliated event overall framework. Step 2. Create and format the individual classes and configure them for entry fees, prize money, duration, and times. Step 3. Publish the finished event onto your website and open the event and classes to begin taking entries. In part 2, we will show you how to finish off creating the event through steps 2 and 3. Please now go to the video part 2 of creating an unaffiliated event from scratch, and thank you for your time watching this video module. See you very soon.